Anxiety's killing me.
So, oh, I didn't mean to click that. That was a mistake. All right, so we'll just assume it started. Hey, how's it going there, YouTube and Twitch? Welcome to Awesome Hardware, live show, technology, beer, me and Kyle, Tuesday evening at 5:30 p.m. Pacific time, and yeah, enjoy yourselves. Hope you guys are having a good one. We certainly are. We have some random tech news to talk about today, and I guess that's the intro.
Yep. Those are all the things we want to say at the beginning of the show.
I feel like usually we drag it out longer than that. We do say some more things besides that. All right, so let's go straight into pimping our stuff then too. If you guys want to help support this channel, my channel, Kyle's channel, our stores are bitwit.tech/store, where Kyle's store is. He's got some shirts and some glasses and some mugs there.
The glasses are now 20 ounce. They used to be
they're bigger
16 ounce. I think these are 16 ounces.
They're larger, so they're girthier.
They're girthier.
They have definitely girthier.
20% more girth.
All right, added girth on Kyle's store. My store has the same amount of girth because it didn't need any more. My pub glasses are also 20 ounce, and they're English pub glasses. They're very high quality. So check that stuff out. If you guys buy stuff during the show, we will say thank you by shouting your name and the word Johnson towards the end of each half. And then also, we're going to be doing the second half of the show on Kyle's channel, which is Bitwits. So thanks for being here, guys. And what? No, of course everyone can see. Everything's fine. Everything's fine.
Yeah. No.
What are we drinking today? Today we're drinking leftovers.
I'm just drinking a little something.
Leftover beer from past weeks. This is from the Sam Adams kit. Noble Pills. That's what I'm drinking.
This is a little something from Lagunitas Brewing Company. I don't know exactly what kind of beer it is. It's just it's a little something.
It is stronger. It's like 7.5%.
Yeah.
So it's like drinking a beer and a half.
Yeah, it's good.
Which is good because we're at Kyle's house today. All right, so random news for the beginning of the show. If you guys weren't already aware, Kyle and I participated in Scrapyard Wars. A few weeks back was when we actually did the thing. Linus and Luke from Linus Tech Tips came down and visited us here, and we did that all here. And everyone has been anxiously awaiting when Scrapyard Wars is actually going to launch. I can't tell you guys when that's actually going to be. In fact, maybe it's already been mentioned over on their social medias. I'm not really sure. I don't want to spoil anything because it's their show. I'm going to let them tell. But let's just say it's going to be soon, and I got to watch the first episode.
You already saw it?
I watched the first episode.
How?
Ah!
How'd you do that?
I answered Ed when he tried to get in touch with me.
When did he try to get in touch with me?
I don't know, but I keep telling him that you have information about like certain stuff that we bought during the event and stuff like that, and I assumed he had some method of communication with you.
No, I mean
via email.
Usually through.
We've been talking on Google Hangouts.
April 3rd.
Yeah, Hangouts.
Oh, Hangouts. I haven't gotten any Hangouts.
Well, I don't know. Anyway, point is, it's a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it.
Wait, who wins?
What?
Nothing.
Sorry, you asked me that right as I saw something on Twitch that completely distracted me. And man, your AC needs to be.
It is really hot in here, right?
Yeah.
It's not working for some reason. It wasn't working well yesterday either.
Or maybe the intake needs to be cleared out.
I can bring a fan in here. Let me bring a fan. Should I bring a fan?
Sure, if you want. I mean, I'm not going to complain.
It's hot as balls.
It is a little warm.
I'll pass out mid-show if I don't get a fan.
All right. Let's dive right into it. Since my first segment is like a Band-Aid, I'm going to get the crappy stuff out of the way first. First segment is... No, not that. First segment is Oh Joy. Oh Joy is usually the segment where I tell you all bad news, and there's no solutions to anything. There might be one or two solutions in the mix today, just for the purposes of categorization and everything. It's not a fan.
This is a fan.
It's just a plastic circle.
This is a freaking Dyson, yo.
It's a plastic.
This is like so technologically advanced. You don't even know what to do with it.
All right. It's a Dyson sphere.
It's a Dyson.
It's not a Dyson sphere. It's a Dyson circle.
They're fancy. These things go for like $300.
You're completely blocking the camera.
Yeah, no one wants to see your face.
All right. To start out with Oh Joy, as we talked about last week, net neutrality is under attack again, and I really quickly want to tell you guys how to make your voices heard. If you happen to be a U.S. citizen, you want to talk about this thing. Talked about it last week. It's pretty lame. Net neutrality was internet service providers were classified as Title II service provider. I'm not saying any words properly right now.
I hope someone quotes you from the show and says,
Yeah.
Paul from Paul's
Paul
Hardware
said exactly
this
these
is
things.
pretty lame.
Never mind that. The point is, we were happy with internet service providers being classified as Title II, with them being held to standards of net neutrality. Now they are potentially going to change that. Hey, that's nice. I got a bit of a breeze.
Cool.
They're potentially going to change that, and here's how you guys can go and comment on that. Now, I'm not going to tell you guys how to comment. Obviously, we've made our stance on the matter very, very firm. But Ajit Pai is the current dude in charge of the FCC. And basically, you got to go to the FCC website. You go down there in the lower left there, and you can click on New Filing or Express Filing. There's a couple ways of doing it. The actual thing is called, the listing for this is called Restoring Internet Freedom, because they like to label things in ways that are exactly the opposite of what they actually do. So go to the Restoring Internet Freedom proposal on the left. You'll see 2 buttons. If you're a normal person, click Express, and then you can fill out the thing. If you're a lawyer or a professor and you want to actually attach some like documented material or something like that, click on New Filing, and then all that information. By the way, the information that you fill out will be publicly available. So this is part of the process of going and commenting on their new proposed notice of proposed rulemaking that they kicked off, I think, about a week ago. And yeah, go on there. There's also some examples towards the end of the article of how you can phrase yourself if you don't know exactly the words to say. Kind of like me right now. If you have difficulty talking and forming complete sentences, towards the end of the article, there's also some information to do that. So thanks TechCrunch for putting that article up, and we encourage you guys to go and let the FCC what you think about net neutrality rules, because right now net neutrality is in effect. It's on. In 2014, a bunch of ISPs, Comcast, several of the other larger ones, started to severely throttle Netflix traffic. Netflix traffic tanked. Prior to that, there was no precedent for requiring some legal rule to hold ISPs to treating all data on the internet equally. So that's why, from 2014 to 2015, first the FCC tried to just create some rules about it. Those were challenged by the ISPs, by Verizon and all the big ISPs, and overturned. So the FCC took this next step of classifying the ISPs as Title II common carriers. So under those rules, there's a negative to that, in that, like if certain apartment complexes and that kind of thing, under Title II, you can actually have an exclusivity agreement with an internet service provider. But they're also held to rules that make sure that held them to better standards for actually providing the service. So anyway, I feel like I'm not doing the best job of discussing this.
I got it.
Go watch last week's episode, because I feel like I did a better job then. Point being,
You're doing great, Paul.
Go to this article and you can let them know, because last year, or 2 years ago, 2 years ago in 2015, a huge reason why Tom Wheeler, then FCC chairman, made the decision he did was because there was so much feedback from the public. And I'm probably going to talk about this every week until this closes, which this first set of open comments goes until May 18th. Okay, let's move on. Other crappy things from the OJoy segment. Intel has patched, so this was solved to some degree, but this was also discovered, quote unquote, apparently recently by Intel, and this is a vulnerability that has been open and exploitable in all enterprise core processors for the last 9 years. So that's enterprise. Does not mean you if you're a consumer. If you're using like a Core i7, Core i5, Core i3, that's not you. We're talking like the Xeons, the server stuff. But this goes all the way back. See all these cores?
I think Xeon should be more secure than anything.
Second gen core was Sandy Bridge. First gen core was... I always forget the code name for first gen. South... whatever the hell it was. I'll look it up.
South Lake.
South El Monte.
South Bridge. South Central LA.
Probably.
Lake.
Okay, so what's wrong with your
What?
Your mouse is broken.
No, it's not.
Oh, maybe it's because
Sorry, Anthony.
it's because I have a Tweaktown article coming up later.
Is that really it?
I don't know. The browser froze. Nothing was happening, and all I saw was the Tweaktown article doing something. Just the tab.
It's
The
just
tab.
it's just flashing
Tab
red.
was like, hey.
It's just violently flashing red for
Okay.
some. No, it's not.
All right. So anyway,
So
what this affected, this vulnerability, or the vulnerability was the vulnerability was exposed.
You're not drunk enough.
I know.
You need to get more
You're
liquor
right.
in you, then you'll start speaking clearly.
The vulnerability was exposed through several technologies that are built into the Xeon processors. Active Management Technology, or AMT, Intel Standard Manageability, and Small Business Technology, so ISM and SBT. These are features for remote management. However, they could be accessed basically by anyone with a copy of a hacker tool called Metasploit, who is on the same network. So you need to be like physically at the location, but granted, that's that's not all that difficult to do depending on the
There are
security.
networks everywhere.
Yeah. Or if your network happened to have port 16992 open, accessible to anyone in the world. Which is pretty huge. So Intel has released a firmware patch to fix these vulnerabilities. So
That's all it took was a patch,
so
eh?
if you're an IT professional or a CTO or whatever like that, as Wendell recommended when this is where I first heard about this, was Wendell tweeting about it yesterday, I believe, or the day before. Yeah, you better update your shit, I guess, basically what you should do. The remote access vulnerability, once again, does not exist on home users' PCs if you're using a consumer processor. But if you're a home user using a Xeon processor, I would imagine you would want to do that as well. I'm not exactly sure how these patches are distributed in the enterprise world, so I would imagine typically something like that, you need like a BIOS update, and then that might update the microcode on your CPU, or it might be a software thing. I'm not sure. Anyway, semi-accurate Charlie Demergian, I believe, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Sorry, Chuck. Charlie has known about these vulnerabilities, he says, for over 5 years, and has, over this period, communicated with dozens of Intel executives about the security issues, all apparently to no avail. This is according to the Hexus article, and their quote from Charlie. It is suspected that the vulnerability is currently being actively exploited in the wild, though. So, yeah, again, IT professionals, make sure everything's up to date when it comes to your Intel hardware. Next up, hackers. Hackers, man, there's just hackers everywhere.
Mad hacks.
Orange is the New Black. The entire first season, or not the entire first season, most of the episodes of the new season that are coming out have been leaked online. Do you watch Orange is the New Black?
I do not.
Neither do I. But I know it's a popular show.
Yeah, I'm sure it upsets a lot of people.
Yeah,
Or actually makes a lot of people happy.
Yeah, I mean, if people enjoy the show.
And upsets the production
So I
studio.
guess it depends on what you think about this type of thing, whether or not this is even fitting for the Ojoy segment.
Yeah.
But let's go on the side of that stealing is bad and whatever.
It is Ojoy, whether or not it's sarcastic is...
Okay, yeah, we'll go with that.
Sure.
Anyway, the hacker basically in question here gained access to the network of Larson Studios. They're an audio post-production company that serves many major television production companies. The perpetrator is either an individual or a group going by the name The Dark Overlord. They have breached a number of small and mid-sized organizations. Don't taunt the Dark Overlord, Kyle. They have breached a number of small and mid-sized organizations over the past year, but this was one of their big breaks. Was that last year they stole 9 episodes of this upcoming season of Netflix's Orange is the New Black. They've also claimed to have accessed content from 36 different television series as well as one film. Since the production company, the Larson Studios, that they are, it's not just Netflix that they are working with. Yep. So that's not known. I mean, I guess you could look at who Larson Studios clients are, but that might not be public as far as what else the hackers might have gained access to. But they originally were attempting to extort 50 bitcoins directly from Larson, and they put a deadline in January to deliver the 50 bitcoins, but they did not. The bitcoins were not sent. Deadline passed, so they went directly to Netflix, and they're like, "All right, Netflix, we got your show. We're gonna release it." Netflix also did not respond, So they have been posted on April 29th, just 3 days, however many days that was ago. Dark Overlord posted the links on Twitter to the torrents for the downloads. Incidentally, the website, Larson Studios website, was based on Microsoft's discontinued front page web publishing tool, which was once part of the Office suite, back when a web publishing tool was part of the Office suite. So, I guess another lesson learned.
Why would a production studio even have 50 bitcoins? Like, why would you demand that from them? How would they even...
No, they demand payment in Bitcoin so that it's not traceable.
Oh, I see.
So the production, they're not assuming the production company has Bitcoin, but they'd be like,
give me all your bitcoins.
Take your money, buy Bitcoins,
I want it in
and
this
then give
form.
us the Bitcoins. Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Interesting. How much is that now? How much does a Bitcoin go for these days?
I think, is it over 1,000? Just search for Bitcoin value
Bitcoin
or price
value.
or whatever. Oh,
1400.
1478.
Okay, so we're talking 5 to 10 grand.
Still holding their value.
Right there, not bad.
Yep. Okay.
$1 million.
One more story here for the Ojoy segments. For any of you guys who are still waiting for Half-Life 2 Episode 3, or Half-Life 3.
Confirmed?
No.
Oh.
But perhaps even more unconfirmed, or not confirmed, or the opposite of confirmed, whatever you might call that. Chet Falachek. I believe that's how you pronounce his last. Falachek?
Shit?
Chet.
Chet, yes.
Chet,
yeah.
Falachek. I think Falachek. That seems... Anyway, he's been working at Valve for 12 years, and according to GameIndustry.biz, he has left. Now, he's...
For dead?
He's... Ha ha ha. That's funny, because he was a writer for Left 4 Dead. He is a writer.
Showing!
He is a writer. He was hired by Valve in 2005. He went on to help develop the unique voice behind 2 Half-Life 2 expansion episodes, both Portal games, and the Left 4 Dead series, among other titles. He said, "There's nothing exciting or drama-filled behind the departure. I worked there 12 years, shipped a bunch of great games, and some amazing hardware, and wanted to change things up. There's no news on what's next, etc. I'll let you know when that happens. Fuck Gaben." He didn't actually fuck Gaben, that was me.
I hope not. Oh, wait, okay. I had to process that for a second.
You were paying. That's
not full attention. Yeah.
Anyway, his stay at Valve also was during the 10 years since they announced Half-Life 2 Episode 3, but not that there's any news about this. It's just clickbait. It's a bunch of clickbait that is the actual news, which is that, hey, there's probably even less of a chance now that Half-Life 2 Episode 3 is actually going to come out.
They could hire some other writer who could easily do it.
You can't just replace Falachek, man.
Sure you can.
Can't just be like...
Yep.
You can't...
Just get a fake...
That's a Falachek.
A fake
you
Falachek.
Can't cash. It's really stupid. I'm sorry. I regret saying that.
Woo!
Alright, I'm glad Joy is over. We can move on.
All right.
Move on to brighter, more wonderful things. Because
more
next
joy.
is Hot and Heavy Hardware.
Woo!
That's right.
Woo!
So, the first Hot and Heavy Hardware we're talking about, speaking of Xeons, since we just talked about that story about the Xeons with 8 or 9 years of security vulnerabilities going on, who wants a new Xeon?
Me!
The Intel has launched the Kaby-Lake based Xeons, the E3-1200 V6 family, so pretty much keeping up with their standard cadence of coming out with the enterprise version of the chips that the consumers get within roughly a few months after those chips themselves actually launch. So the Xeon E3-1200 V6 family is designed for entry-level workstations, small business servers, and storage servers. There is a total of 8 processors that have been announced. This article's from Anantech, by the way. And they're all LGA 1151 socket, which is the same as the E3 V5 Xeons, which is the same as Skylake, because it's all the same core architecture. There will be low-power versions of these CPUs coming later on, but these are all 4-core 8-thread or 4-core 4-thread, and they're all priced pretty expensively. I mean, you can get a 4-core 8-thread E3-1230 V6 for $250. So I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there's going to be people who get these and be like, I got the E3-1230 V6, and I got that instead of the 7700K, and I'm smart. And maybe you would be, because sometimes getting the Xeon version of the i7, especially the hyper-threading enabled version of the i7, has been a means in the past of getting yourself, hyper-threaded enabled chip. And actually, the clock speeds on these are not bad. I mean, even that lowest end 4-core 8-thread is 3.9 gigahertz turbo.
Yeah.
For a Xeon, that's pretty. That's up there. And everything else going up the line is basically you're either going to get a clock speed bump, or potentially you'll have an IGP. The SKUs here that have a 5 on the end, like 1275 and 1245, means that they have an IGP or an integrated graphics. They're using Intel's HDP630 iGPU. It'll run at speeds up to 1,150 megahertz. This is the professional version of the HD630 on the consumer parts. It has Intel's latest Gen 9 graphics architecture, as well as H265 encode and decode, which could be useful depending on what you're planning to use your chip for. So if you're looking for one of these Xeons and you want to actually take advantage of H265 encoder, which I'm actually not that aware of many softwares that do that. Does Handbrake even use that yet?
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
No,
the H265?
It's 264 still, I think.
I'm not positive, but the H264 one is pretty badass. So cool. Nice that that's available on the Xeons. These are 72 watt TDP for non-IGP models. 73 watts, so only 1 extra watt TDP if you have the graphics processor in there.
Too hot. I draw the line at 72 watts.
Sorry. Yes.
It's way too hot.
Beer. There are no... So whereas when Kaby-Lake launched, there was new chipsets that came out. Wait, there's a big one in here. I want the big one.
She said.
Aha!
Whoa, that is a big one. Hey!
Alpine Beer Company, happy birthday.
Alpine's delicious.
Lovely.
It's a good brewery.
And this is the last beer that my sister got me for my birthday.
I have an opener.
It's called Happy Birthday. I have an opener too.
I think it's an IPA. I know you don't like IPAs all that much.
It's alright. I'm fine with IPAs. In fact,
really?
I've been enjoying them more and more.
Well, that's good.
I'm
sure you'll enjoy this one too.
I find nothing at all less appealing about them as compared to other beers.
It's great, considering you used to hate them just not too long ago. You know?
Yeah, I despise them.
Really,
but I came around.
Really came around, yeah.
Yeah, I learned my lesson.
Yep.
Hops are where it's at. You need as many hops as possible.
All the cool kids are doing it.
We want hoppiness. What does hoppiness mean to you?
Money can't buy hoppiness.
That's true.
Actually, it can.
That's what's up with beer.
It's a total lie.
Yes. So anyway, rounding out this stupid Xeon story. Who even uses these? If you have an existing C232 or C236 motherboards, those are the enterprise chipsets that went along with the E5 series. You just need a BIOS update to work with them. Blah blah. Just the same as Skylake to Kaby-Lake. And interesting thing here at the end though. So there's no new chipsets for these Kaby-Lake based Xeons, right?
Sure.
Remember that on the consumer side, with Z170 and Z270, you need Z270 and a Kaby-Lake processor in order to support Optane.
Mm-hmm.
But here you don't. These support Optane, even though they're not new chipsets. Wait,
what chipset are they?
C232, C236.
Oh, okay.
So Ian points out, Ian's like, it is therefore odd that Intel is announcing Optane memory support with the E3-1200 V6 Xeons. This essentially means that Optane memory support is already baked into the chipset. It is merely a firmware approval of a CPU and chipset combination in order for it to be enabled.
Right.
Which means that
It
like the requirements for Optane and like all that is just it's basically kind of Anyway,
they could just patch it into it.
They could.
Yep. Patch support.
All right. You guys might have heard this already. This news came out last week. Here's a PC World article by Brad Sharkus. Look at that monitor. It's the Acer Predator X27.
Woo!
G-Sync HDR monitor. Holy crap, it's awesome.
Beastly.
Best monitor.
Base
Everyone's
model.
talking about it.
Base model.
There was an event in New York. Joker was there. I saw him tweeting about it. I think Linus was there too. It's the next at Acer events that was on Thursday.
That would have been fun to go to.
Of last week.
Why didn't we get invited?
I don't know. I vowed to do no more travel before Computex.
That's true. Yeah.
But anyway, here's their video on it. 27 inch.
I'm not salty at all.
Wow. Damn it.
27 inch.
Look at Tweaktown. See, it's when Tweaktown reloads.
Oh, Jesus. Why is it refreshing?
It's when all this gets all...
Why, Tweaktown?
Nonsense.
Why?
Anyway.
Oh, the calamity.
27 inch, 4K resolution, 144 hertz refresh rate, G-Sync HDR, 1000 nits of brightness. Most monitors are more like 400. It's got 384 separate LED backlights, 4 millisecond response time, 99% Adobe RGB color space coverage, 178 degree viewing angles, Tobii eye tracking built in, as well as quantum dot enhancement film technology across the front of it. Holy crap. That's quite a spec list of, and all quite desirable specs.
It literally is everything. It is all the cutting edge
I
technology.
want it to be 32 inches.
And I want it to be not $2,000.
And yeah, well, good luck there. According to the article, Asus is also working on a monitor with very similar specs, probably based on the same panel. I don't know who makes the panel behind this monitor. But there you go.
Samsung, maybe?
The new monitor for everyone to drool over from Acer. We'll see what Asus has up their sleeves as well. No price, no release date yet. And bear in mind it would take at least a couple 1080 Ti's and SLI to run anything reasonable at 4K, 144 hertz. So, yeah. But it's still there. It still means you could play at 1080, 144 hertz, or 2560 by 1440, 144 hertz on the monitor if you wanted to.
Yeah.
So you'd have the flexibility to do whatever. But also, even if you're not hitting 144 frames per second, you got G-Sync. So
yeah.
Even if you're at 112, you know.
Right. And monitors will last you a hell of a lot longer than a GPU will. So, I mean, just, give it a couple generations, buy the latest video card, and 4K 144 hertz will probably be a breeze, or at least a lot closer to being possible without breaking the bank and stuff. And, I mean, I've had, my same monitor, not the Predator, but my other one for, 5 years, and I still don't really feel the need to upgrade and stuff. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think it's, you might not be able to maximize the potential or get the most out of it right now, but if it's going to last you 5-6 years, you'll be able to use it eventually to its fullest capacity, I think. Just graphics cards are getting so fast and stuff. I feel like the 2070 will be able to do what the 1080 Ti is doing now. And you'll be able to get that for significantly less, I would imagine.
GTX 2070?
Yeah.
An awkward number that will be to...
If that's the nomenclature that they go by. But
yeah.
I would have to imagine that's where we're headed.
Progress of technology.
Progress.
It's amazing. It's an amazing thing.
Yep.
All right. Moving on with hot and heavy hardware. The HTC Vive has a new accessory potentially on the way. This is actually part of what's known as HTC's Vive X Accelerator program, which we will be diving into more detail on Kyle's half of the show. He basically pulled that up and made a bunch of notes on it without realizing that I was going to talk about this.
You only talked about this one thing. I'm talking about way more.
You're right. Kyle's got more on this.
I have way more notes.
But this is one of a few things that HTC, kind of HTC enhancements you might call them. But this is an eye tracker that you might install into your HTC Vive. They would fit in the headset itself between your eyes and the headset screens. It doesn't seem like there's a lot of space there, but supposedly that's what you do.
Probably a lot smaller than it looks in that picture.
Yes. They're being developed by Beijing-based company 7invensun.
Weird-ass name.
7invensun. Whatever. It's called A-Glass. The lenses are called A-Glass. Like eyeglass, but with a lowercase a instead of I. Anyway, they track eye movement. They're going to open up pre-orders for them next month in China, and they're going to cost about $220, or the equivalent of $220. I'm sorry, yes, $220 US. The hell? Stop it. I hope we get to the Tweaktown article soon. It's holding the browser hostage. They'll be sold internationally in Q3 2017. And yeah, it's basically those two eyepieces. Goes inside the mask, puts in there. It uses infrared light to track where your corneas are moving and what you're looking at.
It'll be really creepy once they implement that with avatars, because avatars will be able to look you in the avatars will be able to look each other in the eyes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because they could just map it to whatever that's picking up.
Yes.
And it would make for some more intimate VR social experiences, I think.
That's true. So really what Kyle's demonstrating is a way that the computers or whatever simulation or game you're playing, that software's knowledge of what your eyes are looking at, how that could help an interaction and a game experience. And there's other ways that could work too. I mean, you could use it to aim or something, that kind of thing. And there's games that are out there that use like the Tobii eye tracker. They've integrated, like MSI's integrated into some laptops and stuff like that. And just looking at the screen, it knows exactly what you're looking at, and it'll move a little cursor around.
Yeah.
Beyond that, the article also points out a practical use of it. Even if you're not effectively using it in the game, it can look at what you're looking at in the scene, and it can render what you're looking at sharply, and it can render stuff that you're not looking at a lower resolution.
Boost the performance.
So it can potentially boost the performance, give you better performance with a lower end system, or be able to run something crazy high resolution. But it's only really focusing on a certain smaller part of it that you're actually looking at. So
it's also kind of funny. Like, I know, like, eventually this technology will get cheaper, but it's kind of funny right now. It's like, oh, you don't have enough money to spend on a high-end rig that can run VR? Well, this technology can do it. Just costs $220.
Yeah, it's $220. Pop them in, and there you go. Yeah. Of course, it needs to be integrated in with the software and everything like that. So it's not like exactly plug and play or whatever.
Yeah.
That technique, by the way, of only rendering what you're looking at a high resolution is called foveated rendering.
Foveated, I like that word.
Foveated.
Foveated.
It has a lovely foveated causeway.
A fruity bouquet and a foveated angle.
It's just grabbing a beer or something. Anyway.
Yeah.
But yes, more on Vive X and some of their other cool developments on Kyle's half of the show. One last bit here for Hot and Heavy Hardware, and that is a new product from Razer. It's a mouse. It's called the Lancehead.
Mouse.
This is going to offer tournament-grade wireless performance. I don't know. There's some people who won't do wireless mouse
ever
plus competitive gaming, and there's other people who think it's actually a good thing because potentially there are some benefits. The downsides to it are potential lag, interference, the not lack of responsiveness or something like that. But a lot of newer ones, from my understanding, I haven't objectively tested this or anything, but actually do a much better job of that. However, Razer says that more technology is needed, especially in an environment like in a gaming tournament or something like that, where you might have lots of wireless interference. So this Razer Lancehead hops around between different sub-frequencies within the 2.4 gigahertz band to dodge interference. Razer claims that it outperforms every other wireless gaming mouse in lag-free performance. The article points out that Logitech G900 is also touted as a very high-performance wireless mouse, and that in their tests, even in higher interference areas, it hasn't had issues. So who knows? This has not been, again, objectively tested by me or other people writing the article. But it's got a 16,000 dpi sensor. It can track at 210 inches per second. Can handle 50G acceleration, which is stupid. And Razer mechanical mouse switches.
Space ready.
Dedicated buttons for sensitivity switching. A few extra programmable buttons on there as well, which is cool. It looks very similar to the
Death Adder
Death Adder,
Yeah.
which I'm cool with.
Yeah. It's good shape.
It's
very
find
comfortable.
it very comfortable. It's not exactly the same though, because it's actually ambidextrous. So that might be interesting to any of you lefties out there.
This is ambidextrous?
Yes. The Lancehead is. No, the Death Adder is not.
I know. I was just looking at
Lancehead
it.
is.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's cool.
So there's a top view. Oh wait.
Interesting.
People can't see. We can. There's a top view you can see.
I feel very ambivalent about ambidextrous mice.
Well, I know for lefties, it can be really hard to find
True.
the right mouse to work with. And a lot of them just end up using the mouse with the right hand anyway.
Yeah.
Okay. There's going to be a wired version of this as well. It's called the Lancehead Tournament Edition, which is stupid since they're saying that they're calling the wired version the Tournament Edition, but they're trying to advertise this as a tournament-ready mouse, whatever. Anyway, you get 450 inches per second of tracking speed with that one. The wired version is going to be $80, and it's available now. The wireless version is $60 more. It's $140.
Woo!
$80 for the wired, $140 for the wireless version. That's
brutal.
That's such a steep.
I don't know.
Price
I
increase.
don't know if anyone will justify that.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's move on to sword fight. We only have a single question for sword fight today. Although we might do a sword fight second round in Kyle's half as part of Mill.
I need more beer.
You need more beer. Do you want to help me with this?
That's your birthday beer. You keep it. Do you like it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tasty, right?
Of course, I love IPA.
Actually, it says it's a pale ale.
You get whatever.
No wonder you like it. It's not a full, true IPA. That's No wonder you like it. Where's the opener?
I don't know.
I put the opener right here.
I've got this one, though.
Okay.
Okay. Sword fight, where Kyle and I argue about something.
What are we arguing today?
Today, we're going to try to help you guys out there at home, especially if you like to play the stock market game a little bit. You guys into stocks?
Nope.
Do you have a diversified portfolio and all that stuff? Well, you might be interested to know that AMD had pretty much their absolute worst day on the stock market in more than a decade today. It was chaos.
Good thing I don't.
There's blood. There is
Ton of
blood.
stocks in AMD.
There's blood everywhere. This article is actually from this morning at 9:14 a.m. So early on things weren't looking good. Let's check real time over here on. Let's refresh. Gonna refresh. AMD stock ticker on Google. All right, it's down 24.38% today. Oh my goodness, that is a substantial amount of value to lose with the stock. Now bear in mind, those of you out there who are looking at this and saying, what's going on at AMD? Ryzen's obviously failing. It's all the news of Ryzen CPUs spontaneously exploding today probably that's brought this to people's attention.
No.
That's not true. That's not true at all. No, what this actually is hold on, let's see if we can look. All right, so see that? That's the 1 year look. You might notice it climbing pretty steadily all last year. In fact, it went from a value of 360 down here to a peak of, damn it, Tweaktown. The browser is frozen again.
Oh, there it goes.
There, all right, it caught up again.
It's refreshing.
1520. So it like quadrupled ish. Yeah, so it already went up like 4 times, right? Last year. That was with all the hype leading up to Ryzen. It gained a huge amount of value. But anyway, the point is right now, all you guys who are playing the stock market, buy or sell. We're gonna buy. We're gonna sell. We need to let people who saw this crazy day today, and who are wondering what they should do with all of their stock market money tomorrow, because everyone's got stock market money, right?
Totally.
So everyone's gonna.
I always invest in the stock. In the stocks.
Yeah, stocks they're good.
Obviously, I know.
They're good to have.
About stocks.
So buy or sell. Those are options.
I'd pick the third option if I could, but
can't pick the third
I know
option.
It's a cop out. I'm gonna say. Wow, I really don't know how to argue either of these, but I'm gonna say sell.
I'll say sell.
Sell them. Cause
speaking of sell, thanks Sell for moderating in chat today.
Sell. I'm gonna argue for cell processing.
Cell processing.
Okay, Cell. The AMD party is over, so I think Ryzen's gonna be the last good thing AMD ever makes. They'll never make or top Ryzen anything as good as Ryzen ever again, and it's just gonna right now this 24% drop is just a foreshadowing of what's to come. You think 24% is bad?
That's just
That's
just blood in the water.
Wait till next month. Yeah, till the blood is outside of the water too. Just wait till it's all over the place, and
it'll be when the sharks arrive.
The sharks will be. There will be land sharks with feet. No one will be safe. All right, AMD. This is a fluke. Ryzen was a fluke. They'll never be this good again. This was just a flash in the pan, so to speak. And you're gonna lose a lot of money if you buy a bunch of AMD stock right now. I'm just telling you, this is an anomaly, and you should all be very careful. You should give your money. You should donate it for a good cause, like
donate money
in the chat.
Donate money to AMD. Oh, to us.
Donate
it to us.
Put your money, but take all your AMD stocks, all the money that you have in stocks, and just dump it into this chat right here. Preferably during my half of the show.
Huge return on investment.
Yep.
When you donate money in chat and YouTube chat.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We answer your questions. That's valuable.
That's true.
All right, your turn.
All right, so Kyle said sell, so obviously I gotta say buy here. Everyone should buy AMD stock tomorrow. Down 24%, but just again, if you saw the chart, you saw me show the chart last year. AMD's on a huge upswing. Is it a bear? Is there a bear? No, there's bull. There's bulls.
Bulls and bears.
I think it's bulls.
I know in the game Pit there's a bear and a bull.
There's a bear and a bull. They're both fighting, AMD is basically going to stand to profit from whoever wins between that fight between the bear and the bull. That's pretty much how the stock market works. It's kind of barbaric actually, but the point is, little dip yesterday, just like, because you know it's like when you're on a trampoline, right, and you bounce up really high like AMD did. That guy come down a little bit, but on the second bounce it's going to go up even more. So I think if you buy AMD stock tomorrow, you'll probably make at least $1 million.
Or they'll break their ankle on the way down, and they will never jump back up. They'll hit the metal rim of the trampoline on their way down.
That's
and
nonsense.
Just fall off the trampoline.
It's nonsense.
Yeah.
You didn't even. By the way, you used none of the best arguments for your side.
What was I supposed to say?
I don't know. For some reason, I expected you to say buy, so I had some good
For sell.
For sell.
And what were you gonna say?
Rumors of Intel about to launch X299. Some strong competition potentially coming soon. Rumors that you, I believe, are talking about on your half of the show of Vega benchmarks coming out that aren't quite as outstanding as some of the other rumors.
I could have used that, but there's also a counter argument to that, so I feel like it cancels out.
Okay. All right. Well, anyway,
I still have high hopes for Vega personally. I think deep down,
I do too.
I'm rooting for Vega.
I'm not listening to that nonsense that you're going to talk about on your half
rumors.
of the show.
I never use rumors to make my arguments.
There's no point. There's no point. Everyone, buy.
Pure sand.
Everyone buy AMD stock.
Buy.
60%.
Boo.
30% of people say that middle thing, the hippie garbage.
Stocks
you guys are a bunch of slackers. You have no ambition. All right. Thank you everyone who voted in that. The straw poll, of course, will remain open if you guys want to continue to vote.
Stocks are stupid. How do you spell fidelity?
Fidelity? Why? Why do you?
I'm definitely not going to do anything stock related. I just wanted to. I forgot what the word meant.
Like E-Trade? You have an E-Trade account?
E-Trade. Yeah.
Okay. Let's move on to the final segment, which is news. Yes.
I feel like we've been talking about news.
No, Kyle, we've been talking about other segments completely unrelated to news.
You're right. These are all real segments.
This is different news.
Sectional, totally different.
They're completely segmented.
They're fully unique.
And disparate parts of the show.
Yep.
Each with their own unique charm and character.
It's by no means an illusion to diversify the content of the show in any way.
It provides a steady onslaught of what is known as same and difference, whereas you are presented the information by Kyle and I, who you know so well, and of course the diversification of bouncing between the different segments. Sorry, I'm giving away too much about how the show works.
Yeah, those are our trade secrets, man.
I know.
You can't.
Okay.
Shit away.
Tweaktown article here from Anthony. Lord knows where he got this information from. No, actually, this information is publicly available. I don't think anything untoward
I know.
had to happen here. But AMD has. See, so here's also some good information for why you should buy the AMD stock. AMD has taken some CPU market share back from Intel. Yes, indeed. I would scroll down to show you this chart, but the browser has locked up once again because
there it is.
Oh, because we're viewing Tweaktown. Such a love-hate relationship.
Is this a real chart? It looks like they just inverted the graph. I guess
because it's market share,
yeah.
and there's only two players in the market.
That's true.
So anytime one goes up, the other one goes down. So this is updated. This is market share, by the way, based on Passmark, I believe, right?
Passmark. We'd only need one line then.
So the market share numbers here are from Passmark, the freely available performance test you can run on your computer, and it reports to Passmark's database what's being run on Passmark. So as you can see, little uptick here for Q1 2017. Bloop. Super nice there for AMD. This is their first major uptick since market share started a downward trend back in 2006. So you see this uptick here, 2005 to 2006. That was the original FX series.
Mm-hmm.
That was when AMD was like, "Hey,
crushing it."
They were like, "Hey, we should put the memory controller on the processor," and Intel's like, "That's dumb." And AMD's like, "No, we're gonna do it, awesome. And it's better," and it worked. And then AMD's like, "Hey, we should put more than one core on a processor," and Intel's like, "This is stupid. You're stupid." This direct quote, by the way. That's what Intel said.
Just do it.
And AMD was like, "No, we're just gonna do that, and
Doing
we're
it.
gonna make chips that kick the shit out of your chips, out of your Pentium 4s." And it was a glorious day. It was truly a glorious time. And then when did they relaunch the FX series?
Probably right
Somewhere
about there.
here.
When it just
Oh,
got
God.
worse.
Anyway, I'm glad they didn't try to call Ryzen FX again. That would have really
Yeah.
been dangerous. But
Right
anyway,
into legacy.
Ryzen is selling well. And article also Anthony's article also points out that early sales of Ryzen were somewhat hampered by motherboard availability. The motherboard vendors didn't have a huge amount of time to get everything prepped and ready to go, but that has been improving. Motherboard availability has been better, and so Ryzen sales should continue to do well. Anyway, more good news. See, I'm trying to have a story arc for my half of the show where it goes from crappy stuff at the beginning to good news at the end. Micro Center.
Cool.
We all like Micro Center as long as you live close to one. Excellent place to go and buy processors. They always have really, really good deals on processors. And of course, but you have to go in store to buy them. And if you don't live close to one, that can be difficult.
True.
Of course, their whole market strategy is you go in for the deal on the processor, and then you get the
Buy the other parts.
combo with the motherboard and all that good stuff. But it's been working. Micro Center is saying that they are doing well. In fact, their president, Kevin Jones, said sales of gaming PCs have grown 25 to 30% year on year in 2016, and on year in 2016, and then 200 to 300% from a year ago,
Wow.
which is a pretty nice bump, especially when it's a relative. I mean, not small, but Micro Center is relatively small when you compare to like Newegg or Amazon, for example.
True.
He's expecting more throughout 2017. He is attributing the success to esports and the evolution and growing popular of esports in games like League of Legends and that kind of thing. He said PC gaming was considered a niche market as recent as 5 years ago, but esports has put it on the map in a big way. Article goes on to point out that market research firm Gartner predicts that gaming PCs will grow from 6 million units in 2016 to 8.7 million units in 2020. So continued steady growth will account for 13% of consumer PC shipments by that time. And John Petty Research earlier this year did a report showing that PC gaming hardware jumped past the $30 billion mark for the first time ever in 2016.
Wow.
Which is pretty big numbers. So gaming, desktop market shrinking still because there's just more and more people who realize they can do stuff on smartphones and tablets and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Gaming PC growing.
Yep.
That's still good, and it's definitely strong enough and large enough to maintain the overall desktop market. Because several years ago, when desktops were shrinking and there was a bit more doom and gloom in the air, there was lots of talk like, oh, Intel's going to abandon socketed motherboards and all that kind of stuff. I haven't heard that much stuff about that recently, and I think it's because of the ongoing need for more powerful computers, because it's just not the same to game on like a laptop or I mean, you can game on a laptop, but I mean you don't get quite the same level of upgradability and repairability and all that kind of stuff.
I feel like maybe 10 years ago, most desktop towers that were in people's homes were like, shitty Dell or HP pre-builts. And I feel like now there's hardly any of those, but if you are going to find a desktop tower in someone's house, it's probably a gaming PC.
Most likely.
Yeah.
Okay, I did have one last story on the agenda, but I think we're going to just push that to Kyle's half because he also has some more news on this.
Sure.
But Microsoft today announced Windows 10 S for Education, a new version of their operating system, which is either a fantastic new alternative to Chrome OS or it's the devil incarnate and them trying to recreate Windows NT or Windows RT.
RT.
Depends who you ask. But again, more of that on Kyle's half of the show. We'll end my half by checking out some donations.
Yar.
Answering some questions
Yar.
that were submitted via donations. And we will also do some Johnsons in just a moment. Automatic Matt, thank you for consistently donating, sir.
Yes.
You are incredibly... he said, "Sup, guys? Always wondered how you two met. If you had to restart your YouTube lives again, what would you do differently?"
We met at Newegg.
Yeah, I met at Newegg. Actually, when Cal came to interview at Newegg, I wasn't even there.
I know.
I was out that day. I was like, I don't want to go to work today, so I'm not going to go.
I don't want to hear about whatever shitty employee they're about to hire.
And Kyle showed up, and he interviewed, and then they they recorded him because like he's coming in to interview you for potentially to be on camera and stuff.
The audition.
And I got to watch his interview video, and I really wasn't. I was like, nah, I don't know about it.
I bombed that one.
Yeah,
I bombed that one. I can tell you why too. I had memorized the script of what I wanted to say.
Okay.
And so the first time I did it, which was probably not the version the edit you saw, it was flawless. I had everything memorized to a T like a play. And then Vu, our manager at the time, was like, "Okay, I can tell you like sort of memorize in your head. Just do it off the cuff in your own words." And I was like, this is a mouse. It's got some weights in it." And so I pretty much tanked it after that.
Yep.
Was wholly convinced that I didn't get the job.
Yeah.
Until I guess their first pick actually backed out at the last minute, so I was the runner-up, and that's how I got the job.
I can't remember her name, but there's a girl we interviewed. She actually would have been great. She actually had some.
She would have been way better than you.
Been super better than Kyle.
Not surprised.
No, ultimately, of course, things worked out great with Kyle, but
Yep.
she had like some like on camera like news person experience and stuff like that, but she got like a much more legitimate job offer, I think, during the same time.
Yeah.
And she went for that instead.
Right.
But anyway, thanks, Automatic Matt, and good question.
Indeed.
Okay. Michael Anthony, $10 donation. Thank you so much. Really enjoy both of your channels. We really enjoy your donation.
Thanks,
And
man.
I'm super glad that you like our channels too. You're a wonderful person. Robert Davis, $5 donation. Thanks, Robert. Paul and Kyle, I need an SSD to store my video games on. What do you guys recommend? Sorry for my poor use of the English language. Your English is perfect. No need to apologize. Honestly, when it comes to SSDs, if you're looking at SATA, there's not a huge difference. Most of the SATA drives, if you get it from a reputable manufacturer, ADATA, Patriot, I mean, heck, like Zotac, Samsung, of course, Corsair, who else makes SSDs? Seagate used to, they kind of stopped. Crucial, SanDisk, OCZ, Toshiba, like all of these companies make pretty good SSDs, and even like the more inexpensive, the kind of slightly less expensive SSDs, like you can get I haven't looked at prices recently, but you should be able to.
Silicon Power is a cheap brand.
Yeah, you should be able to get a 250 gig-ish SSD. I feel like for $80 or $90, unless prices are keep going up.
Yeah, under 100.
Yeah, and yeah, most of them are pretty decent. Paying more for the higher end ones, unless you're really doing some specific work with it, you're not going to get a huge benefit from that. So,
yeah.
Yep. Okay, thank you. Beyond Ellis Beck, $5 donation. Why isn't the R9 Fury X FPS better at 1080p gaming, even though its hardware is just as powerful as a GTX 1080? Is its test polygon ROPS to blame?
What do you mean just as powerful as a 1080?
Yeah.
That's not true.
I don't think just as powerful as a 1080 would be exactly.
They're on different architectures.
If you're comparing, for example, stream processors that AMD lists with like CUDA cores that NVIDIA lists, those are not directly comparable.
Right, it might have a few specs in common, but that doesn't constitute how it performs overall. There's a bunch of factors to consider, and even though like the die shrink is a bit smaller for the 1080p or the GTX 1080.
I would recommend you watch a video on Gamers Nexus. I'm wearing their shirt today. I might as well plug one of their videos. It's within the past week or week and a half. It's an interview with Scott Wasson.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
And they discuss why an NVIDIA GPU running at 1850 megahertz compared to an AMD GPU running at 1400 megahertz
it's slower.
Might still have the same performance or slower or that kind of thing. They do a much better job of explaining that than we can do right now. But thank you for your donation.
Yep.
Coda! $10 donation. Hey guys, what are your suggestions for a camera? Will be used about 50% of the time for stills, 50% of the time for 1080p 60 video. Looking at DSLR mirrorless from $800 to $1,500 for the body.
GH4 is good.
Not the GH4, the GH5.
5.
No, it's a GH.
The one that Joker has.
Yeah,
I think he has the slightly.
It's like the GH4,
more entry level one,
but it's $400 or $500 less, and it can still do most of the same thing. It has the same sensor.
I can't remember. It's from Panasonic Lumix something. The one that's cheaper than the GH4. I would also suggest the if you're only doing 1080p 60 video. Oh wait, no.
G7? Is it the G7?
I was gonna say the 70D from Canon, but I think that only does 1080p 30. Correct me if I'm wrong, chat. But That's a really good camera with awesome autofocus. I know autofocus
G85,
is a sin
the
in video.
G85.
G85?
Yes,
Okay, yeah.
Cell. Thank you, Cell. On point.
Cell's
with that.
on it.
Panasonic G85 is what I would suggest. Granted, that is heavily due to the fact that I've been using a GH4 and now the GH5 for quite a while, and I really like it and I'm very comfortable with it. I can't say I've had a bunch of experience with like the Sony cameras or Canon alternatives to say yes, get that instead. That's just something that I know would probably do a pretty good job for you. Oh.
Yep.
Hey,
I concur.
Where'd the questions go?
Luke F, $5 donation.
Yeah.
Will you guys be joining Float Plane Club when LMG opens it up to other creators? No, Kyle, I'm not Luke Lefreux. Yes, it's something that I would consider. It's definitely something. It's not something that I'm ruling out at this point. I think more details need to come to light, and need to have a sit-down talk with the LMG crew about exactly what it entails. But I could see it potentially being a good platform for creators and viewers alike. I know Linus has talked to us.
Yeah.
Actually, at one of the AMD press conferences not too long ago, and he was explaining sort of how it would all operate, and it sounded good. He gave a good pitch.
Yeah.
Linus is definitely a good businessman for sure. So I'm not gonna rule it out at this point. I think it's definitely possible, and more details will determine whether or not it's something that I'm on board for.
I think if it's something that we can do in tandem with YouTube, with minimal additional effort, with zero like licensing or anything like signed over to Linus, which I don't think he would do.
No,
but,
of course
you know,
not.
obviously, but then
As long as
then I
like in
think
the
it'd be fun to
contract
do
that
it.
simple basic stuff like Brandon shoots all my B-roll,
Yeah.
edits my videos. I think it could work out. It's a mutual beneficially.
Luke is available to run benchmarks at any
Absolutely,
time. Yep.
simple things.
Okay. Thanks, Luke. Pup Shepherd, $5 donation. I think the next NVIDIA name would be 1100 series, not 2000 series, such as the 1190, 1180, 1170.
Potentially.
That's very, very much, that you could be right.
The 1190.
Also,
It rolls off the tongue better.
Also, Pup has 264 subs now.
Raise the
Congratulations, Pup.
I don't know. I really don't care either way. I mean, just if I had to pick, like 1100 does roll off the tongue easier for me. 1170
sounds a little bit better than 2070
because it rhymes. It rhymes.
2070 looks like a bigger number, which might appeal more to NVIDIA marketing, but who knows?
True.
Aries78, $5 donation. Thank you so much. Great show, guys. I am building a new Ryzen system. I wanted to know if I could reuse my Corsair H80i. How long do these coolers usually last?
Yeah, you can reuse it as long as it's the same socket.
Yeah, like a closed loop cooler. I mean, after it gets past maybe the 3-year mark, I might start to. I mean, just listen to it. Most pumps,
and check your temps.
Yeah, listen to it. Check your temps. If something's gonna die, it's probably gonna be the pump, and often the pump will make a nasty noise or some kind of weird sound that you don't recognize that it's different before it dies. So keep your ear on that. And definitely have some kind of active temperature monitor running, because if your pump does die, that's actually one of the... I had a big problem with the pump dying because it died. I didn't realize it had died. My CPU was overheating and automatically shutting down my system, and it did that during system boot up and corrupted my RAID, my RAID array.
I remember that.
Which screwed me up.
It sucks.
But all that said, yes, it's probably just fine. You will need to get an updated bracket for it to fit AM4 unless you're using the Crosshair 6 Hero. So yeah, but Corsair should send you that if you ask them for it.
Next up, we've got Matthew Hunt for the $10 donation.
Oh my God, there's so many.
10
Thanks,
CA,
Matthew.
whatever that is.
Canadian.
Hello. Canadian, yes, of course.
Thanks,
whatever.
Matthew.
That's not a real country. Hello, Paul and Kyle. Love the show. Always looking forward to your videos. Wanting to get into some photography. Any recommendations for a solid starter camera in the 400 US range? Have a beer on me.
400.
400. Jeez.
Gosh, I'm so blank on that.
Is Ken still making their Rebel TI series? I know that was like an older camera, but
Yeah.
DSLR under $500. You could just Google it.
If you can find a sub 500 DSLR that can shoot 1080, that does at least 1080/30,
yeah,
you'll probably get better image quality out of that because DSLRs will have larger sensors.
Canon Rebel SL1 is $500. If you're looking closer to 400, the Canon Rebel T5 is $389 with an 18 to 55 millimeter kit lens.
Yeah, that's what I go for though, because the dedicated video cameras or camcorders usually have much smaller sensors. They might have better features for video and more useful and convenient features for video, but image quality wise, you'll do better with a DSLR.
Indeed.
Thank you for your donation.
Sir Valiant the Third.
Sir Valiant.
I hope that's your real name. I really do.
$30.
$30. Been invested in AMD for 4 months. It's been great to me. Enjoy some of the profit. I'm not a financial advisor. Good to know.
Hey, wonderful. I'm glad you're enjoying your AMD experience.
Indeed. Cherudum Tech, $10. Thank you, sir. Not as much as I wish I could give, but hope it funds your awesome content. It certainly does.
Thank you so much.
And it will. Gerald Baker for the Gerald, sorry. Gerald. Yeah, okay. $17.99. It's an interesting donation amount, but thank you. Just got back from my honeymoon visiting my wife's family in San Diego, Temecula.
Ah.
I was in Temecula 2 days ago. That's fun.
Oh, yeah.
Fun fact, a 6-pack of Ballast Point Sculpin is $17.99. Makes sense, in Minnesota.
Ah.
Cheers to you fellas for being so awesome. I drove by. We probably crossed paths. You probably smelt my body, at some point. I drove right past.
Because that's hard to miss.
Yeah, it is. It totally is. I didn't share that, I don't think.
Huh.
Well, cool. Thanks, Gerald.
Thanks, Gerald.
Fred Rant.
Rant.
For the $10 donation, you two shop for glasses at the same place. You shop for glasses?
Eyeglasses?
Oh, I don't think so. But this style seems to be in, like the kind of black, thick frame that Paul and I have. So it's not probably too coincidental.
My glasses that I really liked that I had like 4 or 5 years ago. No, it's before I got married, so it would have been 5 years ago. They were stolen. My wife's purse was stolen with my glasses in them. I had a Fossil pair of glasses. They were silver.
Those were nice.
I really liked them. And then I went to get replacement glasses. I was like, I just want a pair that looks like my old pair. And they were like, no, we don't have those anymore.
They're outdated and they're ugly.
Those suck now.
No one buys
those. You can't get them.
those.
I was like, really? That's lame. So I got the black ones, like this. This is my second pair that look like this.
Yep.
And then my like face silhouette logo got done with them. And now,
you're locked in.
And now I'm like
kind of
locked in. Yeah.
That's true.
All right. Thanks,
Ryan Paglo for
Ryan
the $20.
Paglo.
No comments.
Thank
just
you so much.
$20. Here you go. Thank you very much, sir.
You're great.
Zingalto.
Zingalto Van
Yeah, $10 donation. Looking to do a raid of 2 SSDs, and I was wondering if you think Windows storage spaces would be better, or if using my RAID controller in my Asus X99 Deluxe would be better. I've never used. What is Windows storage spaces?
Windows storage spaces, I believe, can take multiple drives and aggregate them to look like a single drive, that kind of thing.
I've never used that.
Add and remove drives to it. I think. I've never used it either.
Okay. I would just rate it just because that's what I'm familiar with, but who knows?
Yeah, you should, if you want performance, use the RAID controller. You'll probably get better performance that way. Also, I want to say Zingalto Valarin of the House Martell. For some reason, I want to say that. Okay. Jeremy Clayton.
$10. Since I
Thank you.
donated $10 to Kyle last week, here's a tenner for you, Paul.
Thank you,
Looking
sir.
forward to the evaluation of my PC in Kyle's half, unless you forgot. I will not be doing Pimp My PC this week, but be sure to message me or tweet at me next week if we do Pimp My PC then.
Yes.
It will happen again. So
okay.
Thank you very much.
And there's one more here that just came in. $5 from Eric. Jelly Eric. Have either of you attempted to use NVMe M.2 drives in RAID for video editing, and if so, how was it?
No.
Have not attempted that yet. Only used a single NVMe drive at this point.
Yeah. There is a limitation, though, a bandwidth limitation.
There's a huge bandwidth limitation if you try to do it on like Z270. You need to do something like that on X99 right now to have enough direct PCIe lanes to actually actually use the drives at full speed. But no, I have not set that up yet. Although I do have a set of NVMe drives, and I've been saving them up to do a video on comparing them, but that's been really busy and all that kind of stuff. So I haven't got to it yet, but maybe soon.
Indeed.
Okay. Thank you guys so much for watching.
Johnson's.
Oh, Johnson's. My goodness.
Johnson's really quick.
Okay, quick Johnson's.
Okay, I got one from Mario. Mario, hey! Evolution shirt. Thank you very much, Mario. We've also got one from Aaron. Picking up a Stay Positive shirt. Thank you very much, sir. We've got one from Brad. Johnson to you, my friend. Words in a circle, pint glass, the ones we're drinking out of right now. Thank you,
Aaron,
Mr.
Did you say Aaron?
Yes. Double Johnson?
Aaron P?
Maybe? There's probably, yeah.
Yeah, Aaron, Double Johnson. Thank you, Aaron.
Derek D with a Evolution shirt and a Bitwit glass. Thank you, sir.
Brad L. Johnson to you, Brad from Canada.
Brad L. We've also got
screw shirt and a pub glass.
We've also got Reed J. Mr. Reed J. With a Bitwit gray logo shirt.
Jeff M. from North Carolina.
Jeff.
Got the pub glass. Thank you so much, Jeff.
I think that's all I have.
Derek D from was that Virginia? I think
That's
Virginia.
Double Johnson.
Double Johnson, pub glass, and the Thumbscrew Gray logo shirt.
Woo!
Wonderful, glorious. Tyler F from Escondido from here in California.
Hey.
Thumbscrew shirt, and a mug. Thank you so much, Tyler.
Sweet.
Enjoy them equipments. And Gerald, good old Gerald.
Gerald!
Who also sent us a donation there. Got the pub glass. Thank you so much, Gerald.
Gerald Johnson.
That is wonderful. Also one from early this morning from Luke P. Thank you so much.
Luke.
All the way up in Australia.
Luke.
Wow, Luke. How much is shipping to
Luke
Australia? Shipping is 50 cents less than the shirt itself. But Luke, thank you so much for that. Not good. Right. Guys, thanks for watching this half of the show. Hit the thumbs up button if you enjoyed it. Link to the second half on Kyle's channel is down in the description, as well as links to all the stories we talked about today. We'll be right back. If you're watching on Twitch, stay right where you are.
Yeah.
We love you all. You're wonderful people. And some nice person, please do timestamps.
Yep. BRB.